Hey guys, so what we're going to talk about with our alebrijes today is using our salt dough to sculpt them. So there are a few different things I have. I have some straws and I have some toothpicks to help hold them together. Now, one of the things you're going to notice when you're using your salt dough is it doesn't hold its shape super well. Make this a whole lot bigger. So I can roll this into a ball and then set it down on the table. And if you let it sit there for a few minutes, what happens is it starts to settle and you're going to end up with a flat spot. If you don't want any of that, you need to let this sit out for a few hours and keep playing with it, because as it dries out, you will have less and less of that happen. So see how it doesn't hold, it kind of just flattens all out. And that's okay. So I'm going to do some different shapes with mine. I'm going to make a coil, which is just a fancy word for our snake shape for the body. So the one that I drew for my fourth and fifth, my third graders, has more detail. I've shown my other grades when I've seen you for class, but it was a snake type body. So that's what I'm going to start with, because I think that will be a whole lot of fun. So there's my coil that I rolled out. It's going to be a whole lot of fun to add different details and decorations that way. Now for the head, there are two different things I'm going to do. I'm actually not going to add legs to my sculpture now. If I do that, I'm going to do it after it's completely dry, and I'm going to glue them on or attach them with our toothpicks and add them that way. But I'm just going to work on the body and the head, because I'm not going to be able to create legs that are going to hold it up right now. So let me go ahead and swing this around of my snake or my serpent type body. Let me go ahead with the head. And I believe the head shape that I did was an elephant, which is kind of the same one that I did when I built my cardboard. But I'm going to use my toothpicks to help hold it together. And I'm going to do the same thing with my other details, but I'm going to glue them on rather than try to attach them. I added more flour to mine, hoping that I would have more luck getting it to hold together for doing this. Let me go ahead with my elephant ears. I'm just going to mold them a little bit with my fingers. So that I will glue on one side. Let me add a little bit more. So you're gonna play with it. They're not going to be exactly the same, but that's okay. Ears generally aren't. They're the same shape, but generally there's a little bit different. Let me get the other side. That'll be good. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my trunk. So I'm gonna work with this a little bit, and I'm going to roll another coil. That might be a little bit much. So our coils, remember, are snake shapes. Crumbs. So I'm using all of my hands. I'm not pushing down really hard. I'm being very gentle as I roll out my coil. Let me go ahead and do my trunk shape. So from here, I'm going to leave them alone and let them dry. If you want to put them on a tray or a plate, or place them on top of a cookie sheet, you can. If you want to dry them quicker in the oven, it's going to go in the oven on low temperature. And I put this in the recipe. You're going to put it in at about 150 or 200 and leave the door open and just let it sit there for, it depends how thick it is. It might be as much as 30 minutes. It may be as long as an hour. So you're going to have mom or dad help you check it as you're working on it, or just leave it for a few days where it is, and then you'll be able to come back to it and finish putting it together, gluing on the ears and the trunk, adding legs if you want to, or not. It's entirely up to you. But you can either let it dry this way, or you can go ahead and dry it faster in the oven. You go wash my hands from all of my clay, but I hope you guys have fun creating your alebrijes.